Hey everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're going to get into a short little lesson here on standard form for linear equations. All right, so get your straight edge and your red pen and your pencil out and get ready to participate with me. And remember, this is a video, so you can pause and play all you like. So if I go a little bit too fast, just pause it, rewind it, and listen to it again until you understand it. So you go at your speed. All right, pause and play, pause and play. All right, and go at your own speed. That's the benefit of using a video. All right. You can't ask me questions, okay? However, you can go at your own speed. So feel free to pause and play. All right. Here we go. First of all, there's assignment at top. So, and that's obviously in your book here, and you do in your spiral. Do all your work in your spiral. All right. So do that after the lesson, okay? Okay. So what do we need to do here? The goal is to be able to graph, okay? Be able to graph in an equation standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, using multiple methods. All right, multiple, okay? Not just one way, all right, but multiple ways, all right? So I want you to be good. Because depending on the situation, you may prefer one way over the other, all right? So let's learn them all. So we're going to start off with the equation 2x minus 5y equals 10. And method 1 here, what I want to do is use x and y intercepts for each function to graph. Use what I call the method of zeros, all right? Because intercepts are found by using zeros. So in general, right, like we have a graph here. I'm not going to mess with this one yet. We have the xy coordinate plane. Let's say we take a linear function like this one here in red. Doesn't matter what it is. This point right up here, let's say it intersects the x's at 2. Right here, it's at 0, comma 2. That, my friends, is where the line crosses the y-axis and therefore is called a y-intercept. So notice that x equals 0 and y is 2. That's where the method of zeros comes in. Where the line crosses the x-axis right here, let's say it crosses at 3, is what's called the x-intercept. So this one here is called the x-intercept. All right, and it's at 3 comma 0. It's just right 3. And notice that y equals 0. And when you want to solve for the x-intercept here, you let y equal 0 and solve for x. The opposite is true for the y-intercept. You let x equal 0. This is an x coordinate here. All right, and solve for y. That's called the method of zeros. You use 0. All intercepts involve 0. Either you're on the x-axis or the y-axis, one of the two, depending on what intercept you're talking about. So when you take this equation here, and let's write it down here, 2x minus 5y equals 10. All right, I'm just looking right here at our equation given. And you want to find the x-intercept first, where the line crosses the y-axis here. Excuse me, the x-axis. In fact, let's write that down. The x-intercept is the point where the line crosses the x-axis. So point where the line crosses, all right, x-axis. The way you do that, like this one right here in blue right here, you let y equals 0 and solve for x. So let's do that. So we have 2x minus 5 times 0 equals 10. Notice what I did. I substituted in 0 in for y, and now my goal is to solve for x, which gives me the x-intercept. Well, I know that anything times 0 is 0. So that's just a plain old 0 right here. And you should know that 2x minus 0 is just 2x. So what I have left over is just 2x equals 10. And then you have to ask yourself, well, 2 times 5 is 10, right? So x has to be 5. And that gives me a coordinate 5 comma 0, which represents my x coordinate, my x-intercept, which, by the way, is right here. Let's graph. Okay, it's 5 units right. In fact, let me put it in red so you see it better. All right, that is at 5 comma 0. It's on the x-axis too, by the way, and it's called an x-intercept. So using zeros, I love using zeros because it's easy. Anything times 0 is 0. That's why this method is so beautiful, because it's easy to learn and easy to do for the most part because you're multiplying by 0. And everybody should know that anything times 0 is 0. All right, so let's try it again. We have, let's write down the equation again. So we have 2x minus 5y equals 10 again, right? But this time we want to let x equal 0. So we have 2 times 0 minus 5y equals 10. This is the method of finding the y-intercept here. We're solving for y, which becomes the y-intercept. Well, 2 times 0 is 0. That's hard. And you get not 5y equals 10, but you get a negative 5y equals 10. You got to pay attention to what's going on before the term. So we're subtracting 5y, so that 5y is negative. Then you divide by negative 5. Always divide by the coefficient, and you get y is equal to 10 divided by negative 5 over negative 2. So I get 0 comma negative 2, which is called my y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. And so since the y-axis is vertical and the x-axis is horizontal here, you go down to at 0, negative 2. So this point right here is called the y-intercept at 0 comma 2 and 0 comma negative 2. All right, and then all you do is take your straight edge out and draw your line. That's all you do. And you have a line that passes through the two intercepts. That's called the method of intercepts, or the method of zeros, because you use zeros to find the x and y intercepts. It's the intercept method. In fact, let's write that down. Method 1, intercept method. Okay, now that's method 1. And like I said, I want you to learn multiple methods, right? Multiple means more than one. So the next method you could use, if we want to graph that equation, is slightly different. We're going to convert the equation in slope-intercept form and use the slope and y-intercept to graph the linear function, the slope and the y-intercept. All right, the slope is m for monter, okay? M, let me write that down. Monter, it's a French word meaning to climb, as in to climb a hill, right? And the French were the first to design the coordinate system, by the way. It actually came from a guy named Rene Descartes. So Rene Descartes, he has a weird spelling, but it's French. And notice the last part of his name here. That's where the Cartesian plane comes from. It comes from his name. But since he was French, he used the French word monter, or M for monter, for slope, and that's and you use that because only hills have slope. So I should put to climb a hill right here. And so it made sense to him. So we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is b. Okay. And so this is b, and this is m right here. Okay, so let's convert it. Let's solve for y. Slope-intercept form, we got to solve for y. Let's write that down. Solve for y, the y variable, right there, to get it in slope-intercept form, and then we can identify the slope and the y-intercept, and then from there it's easy to graph. All right, so just do it here, okay? First step is always add the opposite of the ax term. Step 1, add the opposite. Okay, and let's do it in red. So let's add a negative 2x to both sides. Always add the opposite first. Add the opposite. Step 1. So I did that. These cancel out, right? 2x plus a negative 2x is 0. Whenever you add the opposite to a number, you always get 0. So let's put a 0 there. Minus 5y equals negative 2x plus 10. Now I say plus 10 because 10 is positive. Okay? We're adding the opposite to both sides. So I added negative 2x plus 10. Notice I said add. Okay, and also remember that opposites add to 0 there. Well, 0 minus 5y is just negative 5y equals negative 2x plus 10. Now, step 2, we got to divide by the coefficient of y. So divide by the coefficient of y. Well, the coefficient is negative 5. It's the number in front of the variable. So divide all terms by it. and see what happens. All right, let's go with the flow. Well, anything divided by itself is 1, so we get 1y or y. These negatives cancel out, so you get 2/5 x. Notice how I pulled the fraction out in front so you can see the slope. And then 10 divided by -5, well, that's -2. So I'm going to write down, oh, I could do this, and I'll show it to you two ways. I can write it as plus -2, okay, or I can say y equals 2/5 x minus 2, okay, which is customarily how you see it. So if you compare y equals m times x plus b right here, you can see that the slope is 2/5, and you can see that the intercept, the y-intercept, is -2. All right, you compare. All right, now what do you do first though? You got the slope and the y-intercept, but great, how do you graph it? So what you want to do is you want to plot y-intercept first. Okay, the y-intercept is at 0 and -2. It's on the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is vertical, the x-axis is horizontal. So here I got to go down 2. So right here, there's your y-intercept. Okay, so you plot the y-intercept first. Then use the slope. And since 2 and 5 are positive, you're going to go up 2, right 5 from the y-intercept. So I go up 2, 1, 2. Let's do an up arrow, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right arrow. Okay, so up 2, right 5. And you plot that point right here. And if I had more room, I'd go up 1, 2, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, way out here, and plot a point. And then graph the lines. So you line them up. All right, and here we go, right there. Boom. So you can see the slope right here. We went up 2, right 5. So put the direction in, okay? Once again, I went up 2, up arrow, and then right 5. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right from the y-intercept. You start here. Start at y-intercept all the time, okay? That's the point that we know. You got to have 2 points to determine a line, right? You got to have a starting point, and then the second point will help you draw the line. You got to have a minimum of 2 points. All right? Okay, you need a minimum of 2 points, all right, to graph a line. So keep that in mind. All right, and notice, let's take a look at both of them at the same time now. Oh my gosh, they're the same graph, okay, even up here. If you go up 2, right 5, you get the same thing. So you notice that they're the same graph here, guys. And they should be, because, no matter what you do, they better be the same. No matter what method you choose, they better be the same results, okay? Sometimes the intercept method's easier, sometimes the slope-intercept method is easier. It all depends on the person, their personal preference, and their abilities with the arithmetic, right? Some kids are good at arithmetic, they're good with numbers. Some aren't, okay? So it all depends on you. Okay, now let's pause right here because I want to remind you something. This is a video, right? And I said in the very beginning that you pause and play and go at your own speed. So if you need to review and go over these again, well, it's a video. Rewind it and listen to it again until you understand it. That's the benefit of a video. Now on this part right here, turn on that backside here in example 2. I want you to pause and play again and go at your own speed. So once again, pause, all right, and play, and go at your own speed. All right, and that way you can understand things better. So if you think you know what to do, then pause the video right now, try it, and then when you're ready, press play and review it and see if you're right. That's what I would do anyways. Okay. Also, let's take this. So 3x plus 4y equals 12. Now, pause the video, try to find the x-intercept, and then press play when you're ready. Go for it. Okay, I'm going to assume that you have already done this. So let's substitute 0 in for y. So 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. That cancels out. 4 times 0 is 0. 0, 3 plus 3x is 3x, and that equals 12. And we know that 3 times 4 is 12, so x has to be 4. So I get 4 comma 0 as my x-intercept. This is an x-intercept. So right away, I can plot right here 4 comma 0. How about the other one? So we get 3x plus 4y equals 12. All right, now pause the video and try to find the y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to assume you're done now. So 3 times 0 equals plus 4y equals 12. 0 plus 4y, well, that's just 4y, and 4y equals 12, right? Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so y is 3. So my point is 0, comma 3. That's my y-intercept. So we're going to plot that and go up 3. It's right here. Take your straight edge out and draw your line. All right, now the question is that right? Okay, so let's verify it. Let's go to method number 2, and let's see if we get the same result. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take standard form and convert it to slope-intercept form by solving for y. Solve for the y variable, okay? Step number 1 is add the opposite of 3x. So pause the video and try it. And when you're ready, press play and let's see if you did it right. Okay, so I'm assuming you're done. Let's add a negative 3x to both sides. Always add the opposite first. Refer to the front side because guess what? We just did it right here. We said add the opposite first, always. Okay, so we learned from the previous example, right? Opposites add to 0, and you get 4y equals negative 3x plus 12 because 12 is positive. Step 2, divide by the coefficient. Why? Because that's what we did prior, right? Remember and refer back to the previous example. Divide by the coefficient of y. I mean, that's why we take notes, guys, is to refer back to it. So that in case you don't remember what I did earlier, well, you can refer back to your notes. Educated people know what to do. Okay, if you don't know the answer, then you know what to do. You go research. So y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3, because 12 divided by 4 is 3. So there's your slope and there's your y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 3 or 0, comma 3. That's right here. Add 0, comma 3. The slope is negative 3/4. So what does that mean? It means down 3, right 4 from the y-intercept. So you start here. You start at the y-intercept. So you put your pencil at 3. You go 1, 2, 3, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot a point. So what did I say? I said down 3, and I said right 4. And then you draw your line. Okay, and you can see your slope right here. Down 3, right 4, starting from the y-intercept. And let's take a view of both of them. So what do they both look like? Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. They're twins. Okay, they're the same. Okay. Once again, the same. No matter how you do it, you get the same value. Not value, excuse me, the same function. So keep that in mind. So in reality, if you had to graph a function in standard form, you have a choice now, guys. You could use method of intercepts, or you can use the slope-intercept form method. It's totally up to you. What you guys need to do is get good, and the only way that I know how to get good is by doing your homework. So take out your spiral, look up here. This is your homework. All right, and we're going to do it in your spiral in the 2-column format. So what does that mean? Well, let me see. Here's a piece of paper right here. Divide it in half. Just draw a vertical line. You state the problem here. State the problem here, and you solve it and graph on the right, and you do all your work here. Set up your, and you solve and graph, okay? So do your homework in your spiral. Do a good job. Come prepared. And if you put your heart and soul into it, you're going to do well, my friends, okay? The only thing is that you got to give your best. All right? So give me your best and do your homework on page 326 in your book, your algebra textbook, all right? And get good at standard form with the two methods. This is Mr. Ainsworth, and I'll see you in my next lesson. Bye bye.